Okay, so we're progressing along with the masking for the stripes that we want to do. And as you can see, this will be the blue stripe down the centre here, and there'll be a red stripe either side. And I've just used, as I mentioned before, I used the thin tape to create this space here. So just the thickness of the tape, whatever that is, 3mm or something. And then I used some other tape, just cheap masking tape, which is what the width I wanted, to make that gap there. And then I've got another line of the blue tape to mask the paint edge. I wouldn't use painter's tape to mask the paint edge because it'll just bleed under. So you really need to use the proper tape to do the lines. But then I've just used painter's tape to start to work away from that outside line, and so I can cover all this up with paper, as you can see, so that no overspray is going to go on the rest of the tank. So I'm going to repeat this on the other side, and then we'll start cutting out the stars for the centre. Okay, I hope you can see what I've done here with the stars. And as you can see, I mucked around a bit trying to figure out how I was going to line all these guys up. So I was going to use that center line, but really then it goes over the top of the stars. And when I did that and I cut the tape, I bloody nicked the paint. So lucky we're painting over this. Otherwise it'd be a repaint of cream on here, but we're going over here with blue anyway. So I think we'll be all right. So what I ended up doing is I got this one straight, and then I just thought I'll just make all the this line, this edge here will all be the same spot if I use a piece of tape here as the spacer. So I used tape there, and then I thought, oh well, if I put a piece of tape on the other side and mark off an exact distance between each star, then in theory they should be, you know, perpendicular to the axis of the tank and in line as well. So let's see how it goes once we put some paint on here. So the first step will be the blue. So I've got to cover up this bit of cream and where I'm going to put this red as well. So the next step will be a line of tape that covers this part here. So I'm just covering onto the blue tape and covering up the part that I don't want to get blue paint onto. So I'll do that on both sides. And then I think we're ready to hit this with some blue. Okay, so we've got the first coat of blue on. I can really see the masking films lifting in a couple of spaces. I don't think it really liked getting mixed with the wax and grease remover. I think that might have stripped off a bit of the adhesive on the masking paper, film, whatever you call it. So we'll see how it goes, put a couple of coats of blue on, and then we'll see if we can peel these stars off and see what it looks like. So of course, anything you do with paint's repairable. You can always strip this back and repaint it or paint over it. So I don't get too stressed about it. We're experimenting and having a bit of fun as we go. So let's see what happens once it's dry. Okay, so we've got 2 coats of blue on, and the next step is to see if we can get these star-shaped masks off the tank and see what's underneath. Alright, not bad. As I suspected, the point of this star is a bit ratty because the mask had lifted a bit, so I think that's really due to me using the wax and grease remover after I stuck them down. So I've peeled up an edge obviously, and then the wax and grease remover has cleaned off the adhesive on the film. So wax and grease remover first, then stick the stars down. Otherwise, not too bad. Not too bad. I'll let the paint harden a bit more, and then we'll give it a clean up and see how we go. So it's not great there, and it's not great here. I had the same problem in those two locations. Otherwise, the rest of them look okay. Passable on a bike. You know, it's not a show bike, it's just gonna be a rider, or in this case, garage art. So let's keep going. Okay, so I've just taken off that piece of tape that was on here covering up where we're going to put our red. So I've got to go back and I've got to remask off our blue so I don't get any red paint on that. I've got to leave these two stripes here exposed. So I did all this masking before, and I can leave that as is. All I've got to do now is cover up from the inside of the red line here to the inside of the red line here. So from here to here. So I don't want to put tape directly onto my fresh paint here. I don't want it, this paint's only just gone off, so I don't really want to peel any up. So I might leave this for a half hour or so, let it cure up a little better, and then we'll come back and put some tape on and away we go. Okay, here it is finished. Well, I can still do a clear coat on this, which I probably will do, just for the exercise, but not bad. Learned quite a lot while I was doing this. There's a couple of bleed throughs on the red right in the corner there. At the bottom of the tank here, you might be able to see in the camera, but otherwise not too bad. So I learned a bit about masking, and obviously cutting the film for the stars, and about paint as well. But hopefully you've been able to follow along, and this would be perfectly acceptable on a daily rider sort of bike. It's not going to win any shows, but hey, cost us maybe $100 in materials, and I don't know, maybe 10 hours work, maybe 20, I don't know, I wasn't really keeping track, but it wasn't that much. Once you get to the paint stage, it goes pretty quick. So yeah, hope you enjoyed that. Have a crack at home, give it a try. Hopefully you've got enough info here. If not, get on my website and get involved in the conversation there. And if you need more details, hit us up and we'll see what we can do to help. Cheers, thanks for watching.